Yes, hello and welcome to Off the Bench, proudly brought to you by GRV. Get your tab bets on the final of the Hillsville Cup, which is this Sunday afternoon. We have a massive show coming up tonight. Ros Lanigan will join us a little bit later on to talk about some of the grand final results so far in Victoria, more importantly played last week. We've got another fantastic feature story with a really important message in this week's edition. We have the GRV Club Challenge once again, when Pix and I go head-to-head to win a country footy club a wad of cash. We've got the William Hill odds and, of course, the Country Racing Victoria wheel. As I welcome back the 97 BNF winner with the Cats, Liam Pickering. Welcome, Pix.
Well, welcome back, Swatter. I mean, welcome back. I was here last week. I haven't gone anywhere. Welcome back to you.
Well,
I noticed you couldn't do our show last week, but you can play in the EJ game. How does that work?
Well, amazing things happen, Pickers, and I needed the week off. I had to prepare. I needed to really get myself in good shape.
Have a look at you.
Yep, completely missed it. This is a highlight for me. I got the king.
Yeah, but look
he was trying to bamboozle me.
What's going on with your sleeves? Why are you rolling with a three-quarter sleeve number?
Well, if I had guns like the king, I'd roll them out, but I clearly don't. It was a fun night. And not my best bit of vision here, but this is a nice little chiseler to Pix.
Turnover.
The important thing is, Pickers, this had a really good feel. Under new management, Channel 7 got on board. All the broadcasters got on board from a radio perspective. Croc Media did it. Average audience crowd of just under 1 million people across 3 hours, which is outstanding. Yeah. But more importantly, 7,000 men have registered online to do the prostate cancer check. Since that night, it's an outstanding result.
Well, it's an awareness scenario, isn't it? And we've got to make sure that the men do that, especially when they get to around about the 40 years of age.
Yep, about your age. So it might be time to register.
I've had it done. No problems there.
Don't be afraid to keep putting the car back in on the horse to get it worked out. Hey, we've had plenty of results, and we're going to get Ros to give us some more grand final results. But Fish Creek, I should say, won their 34th flag last weekend. A phenomenal performance.
It is, yeah. And the President joins us, and it's good to have you here, Jason. Well done.
Thanks very much, gentlemen. Yeah, it was a big day for the club, no doubt.
There's a lot of talk going around Fish Creek, and I've got a lot of friends down there. No, I don't really, but I'm assuming this is the case. Is that you're walking around thinking you're Eddie McGuire now. 1 year in the job, premiership.
Well, what can I say? Yeah, I probably got the job by default, and I'm certainly going to take it.
34 flags. That's a great effort at senior level, but it was a busy day for the club because my mail is that there were 4 young boys in the under-16s that won the premiership, whipped the medal off, and then just put a new kid on and went out and played in the under-18s.
Actually, count that as 10.
10 kids in the under-16s.
Doubled up.
10 kids doubled up. Yeah, went out and won a flag in the force, put the medal on, took it off, and had another go.
Now, just on the junior part of the club, and we'll get to the senior side in a moment. Did the under-18 coach, am I right in suggesting that the under-18 coach left hospital with a drip in his arm?
That's it.
Went to the ground, coached the premiership, and then went back to the hospital.
Yeah, Ray Stephanie, he went in with pneumonia and some complications. He got wheeled out in the wheelchair.
Oh, he did not.
He did. He went out and coached the boys. Unfortunately, they didn't get the chockies. But then went straight back to hospital, and he's still in hospital at the moment.
Well, commitment, and well done to the old mate there. It was a good effort. Let's have a look at the actual scores, Swatter.
Oh, bad kicking.
And bad kicking day on a beautiful afternoon too. And the young Matty Krenborg had a Krenborg,
yeah.
Tell us about some of these boys.
There's big Trav Monet. So Trav's he's the older statesman. 12 years. It's taken him to win a flag.
Did he get the Bill Pollock medal for best on ground?
He did. There's Matty Krenborg, the Sandringham listed player. He was best on in probably the second semi and the granny.
How'd the Moose go? Young McGannon.
Young Moosey, yeah. Look, he's a power listed player. He played 5 games during the year coming back from his stress fractures in his back. And he's certainly going to be one to watch.
Now, there's 4 brothers, Swatter, I believe, that also played in the same team. Is that right?
Parks boys, there they are. There's 3 brothers and a cousin, and there's Dad, who's actually the league operations manager. So,
and is that Mum?
That's Mum. Veronica. Yeah.
It's a fair effort.
Now, what I don't get, Pickers, is this is a magnificent set of colours. It's the Sydney Swans, the South Melbourne football team, called the Kangaroos, and sing a club song to the theme of the Magpies theme song.
Makes no sense.
What's going on down there?
Makes no sense.
Look, we like to share the love around, no doubt. And so we've taken little pieces from a few of the big boys and 34 premierships. What more can I say?
What's the population of Fish Creek?
201.
201.
All the old press is sharp today.
He's very sharp. He's come in really locked and loaded for this. Some of the major names of the club. We know the Weed. You would have played against the Weed swatter.
Yeah.
Obviously back in the day. Wayne
tough.
Wiedemann.
Mocker
Dunstan was from
Mocker Dunstan, yep.
Who else was there? Barry Stanfield?
Barry Stanfield.
Oh, you know your stuff, Picks.
Some big names.
Ian Dunstan. Ian Salmon played 100 and something games with the Bulldogs as well.
Oh, it's a fair effort, mate.
Hey, there's one obvious question before we let you go, and congratulations and thanks very much for coming in. Who's got the best on-ground votes post-celebration?
Oh, geez, it'd have to be Dickie Cooper.
Oh, of course it is.
Yep.
Bloody Dickie.
9-year veteran. 9-year veteran. He'll be still going now. He'll be sitting on the oval now with a cup in hand.
Yeah, nicely done. Hey, congratulations. It's a great effort. 34 premierships. You got a couple of others in the lower leagues on the weekend. Thanks very much for coming in. You don't go home empty-handed though. You've got the premiership, but you also have a $100 voucher thanks to St Goliath Clothing, combining streetwear trends with easy-to-wear styles. St Goliath available at My and Edge clothing stores nationally. So thanks very much for coming in. And I think you also receive a double pass to something Pickers is going to go to later on in the year, and that is the Denny Ute Muster Pickers.
My word.
If you want a celebration, Jason, this is the place to take. Now, you've got to take a partner. There's a +1, so good luck with that.
Keith Urban.
Yep.
I think he's rolling up some of his best stuff.
September 1, so you can log on, get all the details, dennyutemuster.com.au to get your tickets and everything involved there. Thanks again and congratulations again.
Fantastic. Thanks, gentlemen.
There you go. Time, Pickers, to jump into our newest segment. Great to have Hotondo Homes on board as a partner this year, and it's our goal of the week in country footy. Hotondo Homes, build your dream home today. Picks.
Yeah, it's Tommy Donahue from Sunbury. The Sunbury Lions kicked 2 on the weekend, the second semi-final against Bacchus Marsh. Great snap there. Dodged a couple of the old Cobra opponents and found his way for his second snag. It was a lovely goal as well. Wasn't enough to get the Lions over the line, though, of course, as they ran to the prelim against Lakers, Lake Wendouree.
All right, very good. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're heading around the state with Country Footy's First Lady. No one knows more about country footy than Ros Lanigan, and she'll join Pickers and I. There's plenty more, including a great feature story with a good message coming up a little bit later in the show. Welcome back to Off the Bench, proudly brought to you by GRV. Make sure you get your tab bets on for the final of the Hillsville Cup, which is this Sunday. Okay, we're going to head around the state right now as we introduce Country Footy's First Lady with a wrap of some of the grand finals that were played last weekend. Welcome, Ros.
Plenty of finals action to get through, and good of you to turn up this week, Swatter. That's really, really great to have you back.
Bit rich of you, really.
Why?
Well, you made it all about yourself at the EJ.
You know, the green stuff is reserved for those guys that have carved out a career, and look at this.
Look at that, hanging over the fence.
Hanging over the fence. In the tightest jumper you've ever seen, unfortunately, for Fev.
Haven't you just become this media personality that's turned it into me?
I think it was his fault. He was the one that told me to jump the fence at the end, and I did. That was all a bit of fun. It was a good night.
Okay, righto. Roll us around the state.
Rightio, we're going to start off in the East Gippsland Football League, and it was the preliminary final on the weekend. It was a bit of a whitewash in the end. Lindenow toppled Orbos Snowy Rovers by 49 points. The Cats were 15 points up at half-time, but they did a lot of damage in the third quarter. They kicked 5 goals to 1 in that stanza. Baden Ashwood booted 3 goals for the Cats in a best-on-ground performance. Also this year's BNF, League BNF, Luke Dyer kicked 3 goals as well. It was a huge surprise when Lindenow lost the second semi a couple of weeks ago to Paynesville after they finished 3 games clear at the end of the home and away season. So, look, it's probably the right result from the preliminary final. You want to see the best 2 sides from the season go head-to-head in the grand final, and that's what we'll see at Bairnsdale tomorrow. So, probably the right result there. We'll move on to the Upper Murray Football League grand final. This was a 3-point thriller. Federal hanging on for its first grand final since 2007 and mending some of the heartbreak of last year's grand final loss. Now, the scores were actually tied at 3-quarter time, but the Swans kicked 2-5 to 2-2 in the final quarter to get the flag. It was an absolute bog heap. They had an inch of rain overnight up at Corryong, so it was fairly muddy conditions, and it meant it was a pretty low-scoring game as well. But Brad Olin kicked 4 goals for the winners. Daniel Bond kicked 1, and he was best on ground. David Lowe kicked 3 for Corryong in the losing side. Now, the Swans had netball sides in the big dance last weekend, and 4 of them got up on the day, so I'm tipping, the celebrations would have been long and loud on Saturday night.
Oh, I bet it was. And also the fact that they had the smallest banner I've ever seen. I must say, that was the smallest banner. They couldn't even get more than 3 blokes through it.
Country footy's a wonderful thing, I tell you what, Pickers. And also the Wimmera League Grand Final, Pickers, you've got plenty to say about this. The Horsham Saints went back-to-back in very, very rainy conditions at times, but the sun came out at times as well, as you'll see there, with a 2-point triumph over Matoa. It was a pretty low-scoring game, 6 goals enough to get a flag. The Boroughs actually led by 7 points at half-time, Pickers, but they didn't manage to kick a goal in the second half, and that doesn't bode well for a grand final performance.
No,
the Saints themselves only kicked 2 goals in the second half, but it was enough.
Well, 6 goals each, basically, and well done to the Saints, but bad luck to my boys, Matoa, who...
Your boys? Gee, Stall's going to be upset when they hear...
Stall are my boys, of course, but because of the great sportsmanship they showed last week, I was on board with the Matoa guys.
Absolutely. That was the Saints' 4th consecutive grand final. They lost the first 2 and have won the last 2, so they'll be happy to square that ledger, I'm sure. A couple more grand final results from last weekend. North Bendigo by 20 points over Leachfield-Gumbauer in the Heathcote District League Grand Final. It was the second year in a row that the Bulldogs defeated the Bombers in the Big Dance. And North Bendigo forwards Sam Barnes and Brady Herdman played in Wedderburn's 4 flags and then moved to North Bendigo last year. So now they've played in 6 consecutive flags, those 2 boys. So congratulations to them. Geelong Amateur, big winners by 47 points over Mottawarri in the Ballerine Football League Grand Final. And one more piece. Pecola United broke a 49-year premiership drought with a 13-goal win over Strathmerton in the Pecola and District League North West Division Grand Final.
Excellent.
Long time between drinks, 49 years.
It's a fair drought, that's for sure.
Big party there, I'm sure, on Saturday
Absolutely.
night.
Hey, just before we let it go, question without notice. Grand finals of note this weekend. Any that have caught your eye that you'll pay particular attention to?
Is this a big weekend of grand finals right around the state? Have you got any in mind, Pickers? Will you be heading out to any?
No, I'll be concentrating on AFL this week, I must say.
North Gippsland Grand Final will be Hayfield versus Sale City at Traralgon. That'll be a really good game.
Wins?
One I'll keep an eye on. I think Hayfield.
That be an upset?
No. They've been in the finals for a lot of years. Hayfield's a very good football community, has produced a lot of AFL players. Lee Brown, one of them.
Danny O'Brien.
Yeah, Matthew Ferguson played for St Kilda for a while. So that I think they'll get the job done.
North Warrnambool are contesting for potentially, if results go their way, they may make their way into a grand final, win their very first premiership, if they do, for the Hampton District, the Hampton League.
That's correct. They've had a really
club picks.
They've had a really good season. Jeez, you claim a few clubs. I'll tell you what.
Unlike picks, I don't move off clubs.
Except for South Warrnambool, of course.
Yeah, of course.
Apart from that, let's get into some GRV news. As you've mentioned, the Group 2 Hillsville Cup will be held on Sunday. The locals will be cheering for a young greyhound called Hayan. He's only had 7 starts, all of them at Hillsville, and he's won 5 of them, so that bodes pretty well. We'll take a look at his heat from last weekend in the Hillsville Cup heats. He's in box 8 in the pink. Yep. Of course, on the straight track at Hillsville there. It's the first runner in a group race for Hayan's trainer, Tanju Salih, who's spent many years playing local footy. And although Hayan is a $15 outsider, the trainer reckons he's a pretty good chance for an each-way bet. And it'll be a great day at Hillsville on Sunday. Plenty of stuff for the kids to do and music, live on the green. Gates open at midday.
I love the straight track. I think it's just brilliant. It's at least you know your dog's going to get a good run for its money.
That's right. You're not going to get checked on the corner.
There's no cutting off on the corners on the straight track, which is good. So I'll be watching that on the weekend.
You keep expecting them to run around a bend, though. You watch it, you think they're going to turn any minute now. It never happens.
That's the way Pickers played his footy too, Ros. Good in a straight line, but couldn't turn quickly going the other way.
Really?
Hey, we really appreciate you coming in, Ros. Thanks very much. We'll see you same time next week. When we come back, we're not having the GRV Club Challenge picks, but what we're going to do is we're going to show what we've been able to give back to country footy clubs throughout the course of the last 8 weeks. Coming up next, we've got a great story about the Woodend Heskett Masters and an important message that they're looking to deliver to men across the Massena Ranges area. We'll take a break. When we come back, that and more after this. Welcome back to the show, brought to you by GRV. Make sure you get your tap bets on for the final at the Hillsville Cup on Sunday. Hey, Picks, we have had so many great stories this year with regards to feature stories right around the state. And most of them are with regards to people that have made significant contributions. But we've got a team of guys that have just assembled together, and we're going by the rundown, not our words.
Absolutely.
Some good players, some hopeless players, and some players who have never played before, but they like the camaraderie and they play together in the Macedon Rangers. Let's have a look at this particular football club.
Playing footy, I finished when I was about 24, and you miss it every day, and it's just always been eating away at me that I'd love to play again, but I knew my body probably couldn't cope with playing senior footy again, having a knee reconstruction. So once I hit 35, I just thought I just had a dream to start this off again, and yeah, it just came from there really.
Steve mentioned it a couple of times and spoke to the senior club, and it was probably a year before anything happened. And I think the first night of training was Steve, his brother and his two best mates.
Slowly grew by one every week after that. So, and then we were getting consistently a dozen guys to training for a while. And then once we sort of had a practice match, people come out of the woodwork, and I've met blokes I've never met in this town before.
I played junior football through the late 80s and 90s before giving it away, but I came back to football because I loved the game, and I've landed in a club it's a true club, it's a true team.
My work took me everywhere, and so I stopped at 22, then played a few seasons in the Rec Link League with Sacred Heart Mission in St Kilda, just a sort of a volunteer thing. And then, came back this year at the ripe old age of 49 to try and recapture the old glory. There wasn't much glory when I used to play, but there's just about as much now, so nothing's letting me down.
We want you to bring your partners, kids to training. So we'll be out doing drills, and the kids will join in.
We love going away, and we're all together in the same caravan park, and our kids just all play together, and the boys just go and do their thing. We go and watch the game. So it's all of us. We've all made new friends.
Playing Mirabel, don't know much about them, couldn't get much tape on them. They're very secretive like that. They'll have a few blokes with tattoos, most Masters clubs do. We haven't got a lot of tattoos. We're working on it. We're going to get a sleeve or something. Clubs will have a few with missing teeth, and there'll be a few blokes that can play, and there'll be a few blokes that can't, but it won't matter.
You got the crocodiles?
Yeah.
Beautiful. You got a lot of crocodiles down that way? All of us could have been legendary. It's that same old thing. Oh, if I could have afforded shoes, I would have been a great dancer. They're just going to the glory side, Jason, going to the crowd side. Show ponies.
Borderline geriatric. Several of them probably certifiably insane.
I got a Dewey! Jesus Christ.
We've got blokes who haven't played footy before. We've got a couple of blokes with rugby backgrounds, but it's a game that if you're willing to run around and have a bit of fun, you can still come and have a kick here. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at Masters level.
The ultimate goal for me personally is give men somewhere that they can talk. There is guys in our club that have had depression and struggled, and we probably all have at some stage, but to be able to talk to someone, it's very hard for blokes. So to be able to have that avenue for guys to open up, it's just sensational.
He doesn't take it that he's done anything. He sees it that a group of people got together and have just created this team, and it's just exploded to something bigger, and he's met all these new people, like probably 40 new best friends. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, it is. Well done to the Wood End Heskett Masters Football Club, everybody involved. On the 19th of October, that footy club's going to hold a men's night with Nathan Thompson, the special guest, 19th of October at the Gilbert Gordon Oval. Get along if you're in the area of Wynnum. Hey, Pix, over the last 8 weeks, we have run the GRV Club Challenge.
We have.
And we're going to see the results, the clubs that have won some cash. And
this was last week's winner, Swatter.
Yep.
Alberton Football Netball Club. 1,000 cash for them.
Sneeze at that, Pix.
$1,000. But this is the 8 weeks that we've run it.
Yep. 3
clear winners, Royal Park, Lindenow South, and also Bamble Footy Club. Everyone else was still a winner, of course.
Yes, of course.
Our tipster, whose name is Master Gun,
gone.
Is officially sacked.
Officially has been disposed of.
We're going to find a new one, Master Gun, unfortunately. You did a decent job, 3 out of 8 weeks. But we'd like next year to be rolling out some serious 8 out of 8 jobs.
That's it. Nicely done. Congratulations to all of those teams who were lucky enough to win some cash. And thanks again to our great partners at GRV for your kind financial support. We're going to take a break, Pix. When we come back, we're going to get all the William Hill odds and your favourite part of the show, that is the Country Racing Wheel. Back with that after this. It's our favourite part of the show, the Celebrate at the Country Races Wheel, with lots of goodies to be won each and every week. And the major prize, a $2,500 marquee package at the Hillsville Cup later this year, and that'll be drawn on our grand final eve show. But we need contestants in order to spin the wheel each and every week, so get your entry in. And all the information about celebrating at the country races at countryracing.com.au.
Yes, and this week we're playing for the lucky contestant is Kate Cooper from Hamilton. Good luck to you. As I give it a nice big spin today.
Give it a rip. Good spin.
Feeling good.
I'm feeling it.
Nah, not really. Oh, the apparel swatter, isn't it?
Yep, vest, jacket, polo and cap. You look absolutely magnificent in that, Kate. And thank you very much to Country Racing Victorian, Darren Galley and the team for their support. Hey, Piggers, time now to jump into all the odds for the remaining games of the first week of the finals, brought to you by William Hill Online Racing and Sports Betting. William Hill, faster, easier betting, the all-Sydney clash.
Yeah, look, the Swans, they obviously go in on the top of the ladder favourites against the fourth team, but this game is the SCG, I'd be saying grab the 141 there, because the Giants are a very, very talented team. We know that. Sydney, you think will win, but I think they're disadvantaged by the game being at ANZ. Adelaide will be too strong for North. Unfortunately, the Roos have just petered out their season, and those odds are about right. The line 32.5. I hope North can get within inside 32.5, so 5 odd goals.
And the Brownlow.
Oh, it's a one-horse race, isn't it? Patrick Dangerfield, $1.20. This will be the shortest priced favourite in the history of the Brownlow.
He's a vote poller.
Oh, he is. And look, of those others, you're looking at those names there. I think Sam Mitchell will still poll well. Sam Mitchell polls well every year.
Yep. Hey, before we wrap up, Pickers, and you can get involved also, we continue right through the finals. Twitter, Facebook, you can do that. That'll come up on your screen shortly. Keys to Sydney and also the Giants winning. What's key?
Well, fast start definitely for Sydney. They need to blow the Giants out of the off the park nice and early. And for North Melbourne in the other game, I think Sydney will win, because I think Franklin will get hold of him. He's a big finals player, Buddy Franklin. And I just think overall they're probably a bit stronger. And I look at the other game, that's North Melbourne and Adelaide.
Any chance?
I can't see North on the former scene getting anywhere near a potent Adelaide, who were really disappointing against West Coast over there last time. So I expect them to bounce back.
All right, there you go.
You're not tipping an upset, are you?
No, unfortunately for the Kangaroos, and I think Sydney will be too strong. They are the social media places you can engage with us through the entire finals campaign. Pickers, you've been outstanding.
I'm more of an off-the-bench sort of TV Twitter man.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
All right, we'll start using it. Appreciate you joining us. Appreciate Ros coming in. Well done to Jason and the Fish Creek Football Club. We're going to wrap it up. Good luck to all the football teams and netball teams playing this weekend. And we'll be back to do it all again. Same time next week. See you then.